Alrighty. First I need to find the roots, so I set y equals 0, because every x-intercept has y as 0. And I factored it so I can solve it. -3. -3 plus 3 is 0. 0 times anything, 0, so that's why that one works. -6. -6 plus 6 is 0. 0 times anything, 0. So those are my two x-intercepts. My y-intercept is when x is 0. Plug in 0, 0, 18. I kind of screwed up on this test. I made both of them the exact same. So you see your x-intercepts. That's how you get these two guys. Multiply this out, and you get here. Solve for x. That means it's going to be x equals at the very end. Give you a big hint by telling you to factor it. Pull out the common factor. That's the 2x. So how do I make that 0? No, 0 makes this 0. And then how do I make this guy 0? 2. 2 minus 2 is 0. 0 times anything, 0. So there's my two answers. Get equal to 0, factor, then I can use zero product property. And then -5 works for both of them. Factor that guy. And then 2x plus 1 equals 0. So subtract 1 and then divide by the 2. That's how you get the -1/2. X plus 4, so -4 for the x gives you 0. 0 times anything, 0. Quadratic formula. You gotta get it equal to 0. I always like to have my x squared positive, so I brought everything to this side. Doesn't matter though, you can do it either way. It would just mean this would be negative, that would be positive, that would be positive. It all turns out the same. Negative b, it's already negative, so that's why it's positive. Plus or minus, square root, b squared. Negative times a negative is a positive, that's why it's a positive 64. 4ac, ac. When I multiply that negative times that negative, it's going to be a positive, so it ends up being 64 plus 8 times 15. And that's how you get 184. Take the square root, add 8, hit equals, and then divide by 4. And you get this number. 8 minus the square root of 184, hit equals, divide by 4, and that's how you get this guy. Once again, got it equal to 0. There's my b. B squared minus 4ac. I get 25 minus 80, which is going to be a negative number. You can't take the square root of a negative number. Well, until you get to algebra 2, and then we'll talk about that a little more. But that's why we call it no solution. And inequalities. When you divide or multiply by a negative number, it flips the inequality. Combine like terms. Subtract 16 from both sides. Add the 2x. That's how I got to here. Divide by 14. I didn't divide by a negative, so it didn't flip the inequality. I just left it as a fraction. Reduced, of course. And the x is the bigger number, and all these are the bigger ones. So it's shaded this side. It's filled in dot because it's equal to it. And then combine like terms. And then subtract 25 over, or 25, subtract 2x over, and that's how you get x. I didn't divide by a negative, so I didn't flip the inequality. Open circle, because not equal to it. It means get right up next to it, but not include the 50. And the x is the bigger number, so since it's x is greater than 50, all these are greater than 50. Flipper. I don't know why that's written there. I divided by 4 so I can get the y by itself, and I can use the slope and the y-intercept. Y-intercept's at 6, 0, 6, and then my slope is 3. So I go up 3 over 1 or down 3, back 1, down 3, back 1, down 3, back 1. Dotted line because it's not equal to it. Dot. And the y is bigger. The big end of the inequality points at the bigger number. So y is bigger. So all these y's are larger than all these y's. So therefore, shaded on top. Sliding it over. It's shaded on the bottom, so that's why the y is less than. Equal because it's solid line. Slope is down 2 over 1, so that's a -2. And the y-intercept's up here at 4. Factor. Pulled out a common factor. Pulled out a common factor. This could be factored more. Difference of 2 squares, so it's x plus 4, x minus 4. It's just that pattern that we discovered and talked about 800 times. Not really 800, it's like 795. Cancel out, reduce, and there we go. Can I reduce these guys? No, because it's addition. Only can reduce when it's multiplication. That's multiplication, multiplication, multiplication. Anything divided by itself is 1. That's just 1. Ooh, I'm dividing, so I need to flip this guy and multiply. So I factor this, put them right there. Factored that one, put it right there. Factor, factor. Common factor on this one. I don't know why that's so hard for some people. It's just, what do they both have in common? It should be one of the easiest factorings. Looking for ones. 1, 1, 1. And that's it. So this guy is left on top, and these guys are left on the bottom. Sliding up. 4x is my common denominator. If I multiply by the common denominator, the fractions are gone. Then it becomes a really simple problem. This is multiplication. This is division. All fractions are just multiplication over division. Multiplication over division. 4 divided by 4 is 1. So I'm just left with a 1x. X times 19 is 19x. 4x times 4, 16x. 4x divided by 2x is just plain old 2. 2 times 9 is 18. Then just solve the equation. 2x is the common denominator. 2x divided by 2x is 1. 1 times 1 is 1. 2x divided by x is 2. 2 times 1 is 2. 2x divided by 2x is 1. Just leaves me x plus 6. Now it's just a simple equation. Just solve it. And 25 is just 5 times 5. 10 is just 2 times 5. The 5's cancel. It leaves me a 5 over 2. I have 6 x's being multiplied together. 6 of them. There's 9 of them down here being multiplied together. Cancel out 6 of them and leaves me 3 of them down on the bottom. 12 y's being multiplied together. I could write them all out. 12 y's. 8 y's, write them down at the bottom. 8 of them would cancel out and leave me 4 on top. This one's a little more difficult because you need to get rid of this squared first. 3 squared is 9. X to the 9th times x to the 9th gives you x to the 18th. Y to the 8th times y to the 8th gives me y to the 16th because there's 8 of them being multiplied together. Another 8, that's 16 total. Now I'm going to reduce. 9 is just 3 times 3. 3's cancel. Leaves me a 3 on top. 18 of these guys on top being multiplied. 12 of them on the bottom. 12 would cancel out, leave me 6 on top. 16 on top being multiplied. 6 on the bottom. 6 cancel out, leave me 10. We don't write the 1 underneath because that's just weird. Or that's just a 1 times 1 times 1. That's where the 1 came from. And there it is. Good luck.